Hello and welcome to episode number 303 of the TEW Challenge Run. We are here for one night in Tokyo at the Tokyo Dome. I'm actually taking a big hit doing this show because I think they said that 90,000 or something, like, people were expected here, but there's only 30,000 people in the Tokyo Dome, but I wanted it to be there, so it's there. And I'll just take the hit. It's not like I'm hurting for money, you know. Anyway, yes. WWE Championship match, Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. World Heavyweight Championship match, Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura. Raw Women's Championship match, Rhea Ripley and Hikaru Shida. And yeah, the main event of the show, SmackDown Women's Championship match, Kairi Sane against Asuka. And without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. We open up with a hype video for tonight's matches. We got Seth, AJ, Drew, Shinsuke, Rhea, Shida, Kairi, and Asuka, you know? And yep, just hyping it up tonight's One Night in Tokyo. And we're going to kick things off with the 6-woman tag team match. The Damage Control trio of Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Cora Jade against Utami Hayashishita and Double Trouble, Anne-Marie Porter and Kelsey Cook. Gets an 83. Yeah. Dakota Kai seemed to offer a game, apparently. And because it's in Japan, of course, Utami's the most over person in the match, so she scores the best. And they actually did a lot better than I thought they would. Maybe the popularity isn't as unbalanced as I thought it would be. Because that's why I put the two Japanese Joshis in the main event. I was like, yeah, they'll be the most popular over here. But it is Cora Jade pinning Kelsey Cook to score the win for Damage Control in 14 minutes and 20 seconds. Cora pins Kelsey. I imagine a fun little thing I just imagine in my head would be Utami comes out in her gear and flag and shit. But there'd be special, like, matching masks made for Anne-Marie and Kelsey. I think that'd be fun. And it's a special show, you know. But yes, it is Bayley, Dakota, and Cora who pick up the win. An 84 for Bayley, 62 for Cora, 71 for Dakota, 88 for Utami, 64 for Anne-Marie, and a 54 for Kelsey. Not too shabby all around here. Even Kelsey with the 54 is still, you know, pretty good. Next up, a kind, you know, for what it was, well, let's call it a banger for what it was. It's the NXT Japan Men's Champion, Tintin Hoshino even, defending his championship against Raw's Ikemen Jiro. And it goes 11:45, obviously Jiro's not winning. But yeah, Tintin gets his showcase in his home country. And yeah, 68 he gets and a 44 for Jiro. They got great chemistry, you know. Maybe if Jiro pops down to NXT Japan because, you know, the big mattress story's over, this could be a main event feud down there. And I just want to point out, I really love the name Tintin Hoshino. Like, I know it's silly, it's Shigehiro Iri, in case you can't tell, or you don't know who he is. But obviously I've got to do the renaming thing. And I thought I may as well just rename them now before they ever get called up. And just the name Tintin for him is it's funny, I like it. It's one of those names that, like, is so silly when you make it, but then you sit and look at it for like 10 seconds, like, nah, this is based as fuck. J-Flow Performance gets an 83. They're first in Tokyo, I believe. I don't think I've ever been to Japan in this save. Well, not at least on screen in the series. Maybe like a house show or some shit that happens off screen. But yes, for the first time in like 2.5 years they've been here now. They're performing in their home nation. It's Maki and Marika teaming up against Deonna Purrazzo and Chelsea Green of VXT. The match gets a 75. And yeah, I guess based on the performance is actually okay because Chelsea's kind of shoddy at the minute. Deonna is scoring well, but her popularity is low. And yeah, Marika is one of the lesser popular members of J-Flow. But of course, there is a big stipulation attached to this. Because as we heard on Raw, should J-Flow win this match, Aiden English will crown them the queen, or crown Maki specifically, the Queen of Pop. And I've just realised this is on Sunday night, so that'll be a long flight home to the, probably, let's be fucking real, the XL Centre. But in the end, it is Marika pinning Chelsea Green with a machine gun drop. JFO make defense number 2 of the Women's Tag Team Championship. And for Aiden English, I guess he must determine that Maki is the Queen of Pop and hand over that Battle of the Bands crown he won last month. 62 for Marika, 81 for Maki, 46 for Chelsea, and a 56 for Deonna. I think Maki and Marika got boosted up from being in Japan, but that was a hindrance on them too. 81. Cruiserweight Championship match, Kushida back in the Tokyo Dome. Legendary junior heavyweight had many classics for that title in this very arena. Taking on the legendary Rey Mysterio for WWE's Cruiserweight Championship, the first champion since it got brought back at SummerSlam. And in 14 minutes and 23 seconds, it is Rey who holds onto the belt. He wins in 14 minutes and 23 with a 619 into a drop into dime to make defense number 3 of the Cruiserweight title. 75 for Kushida, 76 for Rey, so they're actually kind of evenly matched. But booyaka booyaka, Rey Mysterio continues his run as the Cruiserweight champion of the world. 73? That's actually really... Oh my goodness, that picture. Okay. So I've just installed the new Samp gift pack and the new Real World Chronicles update, so I didn't know that some people had new pictures, and that just took me by surprise. Anyway, Aoi Maikawa, the Real Life Miyu Yamashita, is the NXT Japan Wonder Woman champion. She won it back at Evolution. And she defends it against Raw Saray here because, yeah, Saray's on Raw. She's not winning the belt. And that's in 10-13 Red Brazilian Kick. Match is a 73, which is really good, considering this is a developmental champion, a unimportant main roster star, and they both scored in the 60s. That actually over-delivered, banger. Good job, girls. Oh my, speaking of good job, these are my boys here. 86 this match gets. It's the Raw Tag Team Championship match between Path of the Dragon and the Grand Jury's Emerson Frost and Ken Cobain. It goes for 15:54, and what a run the Path of the Dragon have had since they won the belts. I think they've had pretty much all blue matches. And yeah, that reign continues. Akira Tozawa pins Emerson Frost with a diving senton to make defense number 4 of the Raw Tag Team Championships. 85 for Humberto, 82 for Tozawa, 70 for Ken Cobain, and 64 for Emerson Frost. And 86 for the match, But Path of the Dragon make defense number 4 of the belt, so they roll on as quite possibly the greatest Raw Tag Team Champion in this save. And yeah, who's next? Say Humberto and Tozawa. Thank God that they didn't call an audible here, because guess what's happened? I don't know, damaged kneecap doesn't sound too bad, but that's what Rhea got. She got a damaged kneecap here. So fuck knows, that again, that doesn't sound like something that will keep her out. It sounds like something that she'll work through. But Shida and Rhea Ripley getting 82. I can only assume because the injury through the match itself, blah blah blah. But yeah, Sonya and Julia, of course, out there with Rhea, and Liv runs out to make the save for her new best friend, and she fights off the other 2 Grand Jury girls in the out. Oh no, wait, they're not out there with Rhea. They come out because they are angry at Shida because they're fighting Shida and Liv. I just saw Rhea and what was my version of the Judgment Day and went, oh, they're out there to support Rhea. No, that's not normal. They run out because they want to cost Shida and the match because, they got pissed off because they're teaming against Liv and Shida on Raw. That's the reason. Anyway, yeah, Rhea retains because, all the outside interference distracts Shida, and then once it's one-on-one, no Liv, and then no members of the Grand Jury, Rhea cheats, I guess, to win, using the post or some shit. To face number 1 of the Raw Women's title. 87 for Rhea, 72 for Shida. And yeah, we take those. Speaking of things we take, Baron Corbin, he's out here and he goes, what is with this disgrace of a country? You know, you sure do know how to kick a man when he's down. Okay, let me tell you the story of what happened. So I, have been bit down on my luck recently, not having the greatest time in the States. Hell, even in the UK, they were being a bit of asshole to me. So I come over to Japan, I'm like, maybe these guys, I heard good things about Japanese people, they're nice and kind and friendly, maybe they'll lend me some cash. And I was right. The second I stepped off the plane here, and I was looking for people to lend me money. I know you're wondering, how did you get on the plane, Corbin? That's none of your business, Please, I'm serious, that's none of your business, please don't call anybody. But anyway, I go off the plane, they go, hey Corbin, I've got your money, I can give you 300 yen. And I'm like, 300? Bro, I'm balling in money, That's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it's enough to really cement my future. So I come to check, I go to convert it, that's about $1. Like, what? Why would you call it 300 if it's 1? Anyway, I'm not in the best of mood here, that's why every single Japanese person now can kiss my balls, okay? Because you don't appreciate a man like me, and I'm telling you now, there's not a Japanese man whose ass I could not kick, okay? So, quite frankly, I think it's ridiculous that you disrespect me like this. Uh-oh. Minoru Suzuki walks in the ring. Kaze Ninare is echoed around the arena. And he, of course, gets in Corbin's face. And Corbin looks at him and goes, can I help you, Grandpa? And then Suzuki, of course, beats the fuck out of Baron Corbin. So, Suzuki's contract came out of New Japan, and they let him go because he is 53. It naturally in TEW terms, they're like, we'll cash out, check out at that point. So I brought him in. He's not going to be on the main roster, he's not going to have a main roster run or anything. But, yeah, he's a coach down in NXT Japan. And I'll have him as just like a player coach down there. And then I'd have to rename him here because he's not being officially called up. So, yeah, he's just making a cameo here to announce that he's now going to be a part of the player coaching staff of NXT Japan. You want to see him? Go watch that show. But I had to get him on the show, get the big pop for him, and have him, who else but Baron Corbin. 85. We take those again. Shinsuke seemed off his game. Come on, bruh. Like, your big world title match in the Tokyo Dome. Off your game? You've had plenty of these in your career. But of course, the announcers gassing him up, saying he's been like the king of the Tokyo Dome before. He's had so many iconic matches in this arena. The very last match he had before he came to WWE was one of the greatest matches in the history of the Tokyo Dome. This is his building, you could say. And 6 years later, he returns, and he's looking to bring home World Championship gold once again, this time for WWE. But Drew just won the belt 2 weeks ago. And I know Sheamus dropped it after 3 weeks, but, we're not having too many of those back to back to back. So Drew retains the belt. Shinsuke gives it a good go, though. He really opens some eyes here, because he scores a 90, I think in terms of the game, like, or like the canon TEW world, the fans will be like, oh shit, we forgot Shinsuke can actually bang. But more so for real life breaking kayfabe thing, him scoring these 90s and shit, I'm like, yeah, I should probably find more important stuff for him to do instead of having him just float around. You know, he's proven he can hang up there. But Drew McIntyre does beat him with the Claymore, and they shake hands after the match because wholesome and shit. Drew is apparently held back by the language barrier for a hand. Actually, no. I'm gonna improv this right on the spot. Shinsuke can take the microphone, you know, because he's in Japan and he can speak Japanese. He like gasses the show up and everyone and all that shit in his native tongue. And then Drew takes the microphone and he starts speaking English. And then him and Shinsuke translate with each other, and Drew ends up speaking like broken. He's like, he gets an arigato out at least, but yeah, just a fun thing because that note literally just, I was like, I can improv this. It was supposed to just be a handshake, but oh well. 86. I was gonna say I'll take that considering it hasn't got a storyline involved, but it technically does. But just not the WWE Championship one. Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. Speaking of the Tokyo Dome, speaking of Shinsuke Nakamura's iconic final match in the Tokyo Dome, and that was against this man, the phenomenal AJ Styles. You know. So, this match goes 19 minutes and 57. Not quite as long as the Nakamura versus McIntyre match, but still long enough for a banger. And the match gets an 86, so it is a banger. Seth gets a 90, AJ gets an 83 for the record. And it looks like AJ's going to have the match won. You know, there's probably a referee bump at some point, and we get that spot where AJ, phenomenal forearm, Seth's down, he covers him, and he gets like the 10 count, but the referee's not up to count the pin. And then he goes back up for a springboard 450, but as he leaps up to the top rope, before he can like dive off, he's pulled down by Gunter, of all people, to the outside of the ring and chopped, and AJ would sell that chop like death, obviously. And then Gunter just tosses him back into the ring, and Seth stomps him. Then now the referee's back up, 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins retains the belt. So, interesting interference from Gunter, of all people here. Like, you'd have thought, I think Carmelo Hayes had problems with him. I think, like, Ilja Dragunov had issues with him, but Gunter, I guess, is the one that Regal sent to deal with those problems. Then after the match, speaking of, Seth Rollins also got penalised for not being able to speak Japanese, but, you know, that didn't stop the segment getting an 87 because of who's involved. Seth goes, ha 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 ha. Tokyo Dome, that's your hero. Well, Tokyo, acknowledge me. Ha 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 ha. Uh-oh. Their actual tribal chief is here. We haven't seen him since Cardiff. And he's staring a hole through Seth Rollins. The entire bloodline is here. Jimmy, Jay, Jacob, all behind him. And Seth, he looks like he's seen a ghost because he didn't bring Solo out here with him, you know? He wasn't expecting Roman, Heyman, Jimmy, and Jay and Jacob to be here. But they stormed to the ring. But of course, Roman, as he gets to the ring, Seth Rollins bails out, backs up through the crowd, and leaves, holds his belt up high. And Roman he doesn't get like angry or like emotional or anything. He just sits there and just stares a hole through Seth as Seth cowards away. But Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns together does bring me to a special announcement.
Sierra Hotel India Echo Lima Delta Shield.
I was right to put this on last. Asuka and Kairi. Guess the rating. 96. When I put this on the main event spot, I was like, I don't know. I probably won't do as good, but I just feel like putting it. Yeah, but yeah. Match goes 17 minutes 32. And it's Asuka's first match back since her injury. Apparently there's a lack of psychology at times, so if there wasn't that, this could have been a 100. But not only was this the match of the night, it was one of the matches of the goddamn year. And it is Kairi who retains. 17:32, she beats Asuka with the insane elbow. Kairi Sane makes defense number 2 of the SmackDown Women's title. And, after a match like that, in the home nation of these two women, they're going to be emotional. They're both baby faces. They're both going to respect each other. They both went through a war. There's the emotional handshake and the emotional hug after the match.
Damage control. Yeah. We got the power, we got the rage, control the stage, control the cage. We got the power, we got the rage, control the stage, control the cage.
Bayley and Dakota and Cora on the stage. She's like, well, girls, sure was a joy to see that sitting in the back, What a war you two went through. Kairi, you won, the people of Japan seem to love that. But now that match is over and I've got to look forward to who your next challenger is going to be, and well, who better than us? That's if you even make it out of Tokyo. Get 'em. Shoulders Cora and Dakota into the ring. Utami runs out to make the save, but then get the three Joshi standing side by side against Damage Control. And Bayley's like, oh, what's this? We've already beaten you once tonight. You two have just been through a war. Even 3v3, you're still kind of outnumbered, Where are the rest of your friends?
Welcome to the ball pit. You can get your ass kicked. Off the top backflip. Hit you with an axe grip. Who's your dang? Tell me now. Biggest balls up in the room. When I slam you.
Shotzi on the tank storms out. She comes to the ring. She stands side by side with the baby faces, and then, I'll probably have Cora charge in, gets twatted with a back fist or a kick or whatever by Asuka, and then Kairi does the same thing to Dakota, and they sell it like death, and they're completely knocked out, because I want an excuse for them to be out of the segment. So they just lay there like they've been completely fucked up. And then Bayley looks at all four of them and she's like, maybe this whole thing's been a bit misjudged, sorry. But then, bang, they all hit their finishes on Bayley, ending, of course, with Kairi hitting the insane elbow. And then the babyfaces all stand on a corner each. Probably have, I'd say, yeah, all of them, sure. I was going to say, all hold up Japanese flag. Shotzi's there like, woo, yeah, I guess I'm honorary Japanese for tonight. And just a feel-good segment to end the show and send the fans home happy. 98 rated show. Because that main event, and I bought a special set and shit because I didn't think the main event was going to be good. So I was like, I'm going to buy this to make sure the show does alright. Boy, was I wrong. Yeah. But what matters more than that is what you thought of the show. So do let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for Raw, the first step on the road to Survivor Series. See you then.